Hello. So this is a slight addendum to my previous video, slightly calmer and without the vest. So hopefully I'm able to put this in a slightly more eloquent manner. I've noticed a lot recently that there seems to be outcry for tougher lockdown restrictions to be placed upon the general population. Now, I understand, right? I don't understand, but I acknowledge the thought process of the population that is crying out for this. I accept that many people, quite possibly the majority of us, have been stuck in jobs, okay, that don't fulfill our needs, jobs that we don't enjoy, for quite possibly our whole lives. You know, we're, as a society, the way things are structured, we are pushed into jobs that we don't necessarily want to do, but just for the sake of the money, because ultimately we need the money to survive. I think 90% of people that work for a living, given the opportunity, if asked the question, more to say, would you do this job if you had a choice? Or, for instance, more to the point, what job would you do if you could do any job? And I dare say it wouldn't be the job they are currently doing. Most people have a passion that they would rather be doing. So if you take that into account, it's easy then to acknowledge the fact that these people that are shouting for all of these tougher restrictions are quite possibly, if not wholly, but at least in the majority, people that are of this kind of mindset, you know, where they've been living this life, doing jobs that they don't necessarily enjoy, and all of a sudden, you know, I mean, let's face it, human beings want freedom. It's ingrained in our DNA. We're free individuals, okay? And these particular types of jobs restrict you. They tell you when you can go on holiday, how many days you're allowed off per year, you know, such as these kind of things. And they're very restrictive on your life, and nobody really enjoys that, do they? I mean, let's face it, none of us enjoy being told or having to ask when we can have a day off, please, sir. You know what I mean? Because, and feeling guilty or feeling bad that when we're poorly, we have to go to work, and stuff like that, you know, because otherwise, you know, because we haven't got enough sick days left. So you've got to suffer. And it's, in a sense, it kind of goes against everything of who we are, you know, as sovereign individuals. Now, I completely get that. Okay, so when you then take into account that the government has given people kind of a free pass, these people are then going to jump at the chance to not have to go to work and still get paid. You know, their life hasn't particularly changed very much. They can still afford to feed themselves. They can still keep a roof over their heads, and they've still got a bit of surplus money that they can use to enjoy themselves with, you know. But the time has come where we kind of need to stop that now, because as much as it's easy to acknowledge and accept that through all of this, through these restrictive jobs that we've all been doing, okay, that nobody really wants to do, through all of that, it comes down to a personal choice, you know. It's up to you whether you want to stay in that job. You know, it's your fault that you've been living that job, and not fulfilling your passion as, you know, a source of income. That's not anybody else's fault other than yourself. You know, if you didn't have the courage to follow your dreams, so to speak, you know, to take the plunge and to take the risk, then that's on you. And I understand, you know, right now people have got an excuse not to have to, you know, go to work, because we're all being told that there's a deadly virus that is potentially going to kill everybody. I mean, let's not go into the potential evidence that proves or disproves one way or the other, you know, that particular part. But let's just stay on point. Let's stay focused here, because ultimately people don't want to go to work, okay? Because they're miserable in their jobs. That's the baseline, isn't it? And I dare say, like I've said a few minutes ago, that the majority of the people that are crying out for these heavier restrictions and for more lockdowns is because they don't want to go back to work. They're happy sitting around getting paid to not go to work. I mean, I get it. I get it. You know, if I'd been doing a miserable job, I'd probably be saying the same. Okay, and that's me being 100% honest. I'd probably be saying the same. Because who wouldn't? Who wouldn't want to sit around and do nothing but get paid enough to survive? And if you were in a well-paid job, then you're still getting quite handsomely paid for not doing anything. You know, you can sit around and sample all the, you know, the latest gins, you know, and do what you need to do. Whether you, I suppose now people have got the opportunity to pursue their passions risk-free. And again, I get that, you know, but there are people out there like myself, and I'm speaking from experience here, and this is why it's a very, very important subject for me, and this is the reason why I've had to come back and do a second video on this, because there are people out there like myself that support ourselves because we did decide to follow our passion in life. We did decide to be self-employed and take that leap of faith and support ourselves. You know, I've supported myself now for over a decade, and it was a very, very good business. The tattoo industry has been a very, very good industry to me, okay? Being a professional tattooist, and a decent one at that, it's been good to me, and I've enjoyed my life. But you see, it's not just tattooists, it's other people that are self-employed, that have their own businesses, that decided to stand on their own 2 feet. Anybody literally right now who is unable to go to work, who's deemed as being non-essential, is suffering, and we need to get back to work. So this is a call to you people, you know, those people that don't necessarily want to go back to work. Please think about us, you know, think about those who are suffering, because this might well be the same storm that we're all having to sail through, but we are potentially all sailing on varying degrees of ship, okay? Some of us are rocking on cruisers, big cruise liners, and others, fuck me man, we're trying to hang on in a dinghy, okay? So please, let's just think about the greater situation here. As much as it's nice and it's understandable that people want to stay off work for as long as they possibly can and get paid for it, completely get it. But there are people, many, many people out there that are suffering, facing potential bankruptcy, losing everything they've ever had because of the, I would say selfish, like in my last video, but I feel as though it's only selfishness through ignorance. Whether that's chosen or not, whether people are choosing to be ignorant, or whether it's just the fact that they are so blinded by their own situation they're unable to see other people's, that doesn't matter. What truly matters is that people like yourselves, people that are furloughed, that are perhaps living a decent life right now and enjoying it, please try and empathize with people like myself and see people's lives other than your own, and see how they're being impacted, and perhaps try and make decisions based on that, on the whole, okay, the greater good of society, because ultimately we're all a part of society and we're all essential, and that's all I've got to say. So please have a thought, and let's actually try and get through this together by thinking of one another and being compassionate. All the best to you. I hope every single one of you has a very, very good day,